Vishwambar Mishra, this is not just a legal battle. You are there in Varanasi, you've been dealing with many temple trusts there. This is a political battle also. And somewhere down the line, do you think, Professor Mishra, that politics is taking over now? This is not about what the law is, this is about somebody saying Astha, faith. मेरी आस्था है कि वहां मंदिर है, मुझे अधिकार होना चाहिए वहां जाकर पूजा करने के लिए. That this is all coming down to politics, to the entire issue of faith. Faith above law. Law कानून छोड़िए, आस्था comes above law.
Rajdeep ji, this country is run by a well-formulated constitution. And I think everybody should have Astha for the constitution. And whatever was formulated in 1947, I think that should be respected. Now, if you start making a survey, now survey at till what depth? Suppose if you are making a survey up to say 10 to 20 feet, then why don't you go beyond that? And see, depth also has to be defined. But this is not the way if you start, because you have other important issues which are not being addressed. For example, if you talk about education policy, economic condition of the country, job opportunity for the youngs. So these have been set apart.
No, these are there, but Professor Mishra, there are people in Varanasi who say all that is well. हमारी आस्था का सवाल है. There are
नहीं आस्था, देखिए जान बचेगी तो सब आस्था भी रहेगा, ऐसा नहीं है. अभी आपके पास जो ये आपका इन्फ्लेशन का है, ये सब चीजें आप अगर नहीं एड्रेस कर पाएंगे, we are gradually moving towards an end which cannot be reversed. और ऐसे नहीं होता. And see, whatever path you are adopting, this is an endless path and it can never be formulated on these lines.
No, so are you saying that the majority of people in Varanasi would rather that this issue be settled amicably rather than through some kind of force?
No, I think if it is settled amicably, that is the finest way, and that is the right approach. But I think deliberately a scene is being created with some interest. I don't know what is the interest. And I think we are moving in a path which we cannot backtrace again. So this is very unfortunate. And most of the people, they are just simply mute observers. And I don't know for what reason they are not opening their mouth.
You know, you're saying they are mute observers, but you know, Sanjay Hegde, I come back to it. Faith above law. We saw that even in the initial period of the Ayodhya movement, that this is a matter of astha. Don't bring the law into it. In a sense, does this reveal the limits of the law? The Places of Worship Act was brought in after the demolition, and there was a sense that it was needed at the time. 31 years later, the BJP, the party which led the agitation for Ram Janmabhoomi, is in power. They've always said, after Ayodhya, Kashi, Mathura. So in a sense, you're seeing politics trumping the law.
Yes, the slogan always has been Ayodhya to bas jhaki hai, Kashi Mathura baki hai, teen nahi ab 30,000 nahi bachegi koi mazar. All kinds of things have been said. But to correct you, the Act of 1991 was passed before the demolition of 1992.
My correction, yes.
And despite the demolition, Parliament has reaffirmed itself as far as this act is concerned. Several parliaments have come and gone. Nobody has interfered. The courts have commended the act. This was a national consensus that Ayodhya was to be treated as a one-off.
Correct.
That there was a movement and all that. Let us begin and end with Ayodhya. If you want to continue this now into Kashi, then into Mathura and all over the place, we will not be a country much better than the Taliban who destroyed the Bamiyan Buddhas. Everything is part of our history. Everything is part of our history. There may be some parts of our history which some sections of our populace may be uncomfortable with. But the answer is to do things which are historical, which will have their own impact in the future. It is not to go back to the past and rewrite.
Sure,
this kind of attempt has to be shut down at the earliest.